Hi everyone, this is Darkside2K7, aka Sonic Sky Stitcher. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday evening. I thought the whole Dave Chappelle with the whole Dave Chappelle thing, and people will move on with their fucking life, right? Yeah, I thought this whole thing was gonna go down. I thought everything was gonna be stupid. I thought it would be, thought everything would be crazy though. But it keeps going because we got a new idiot who's now coming out trying to attack Dave Chappelle. This one is Will Wheaton. Yes, yes. Will Wheaton decided to attack Dave Chappelle over the announcement that he will headline Netflix's A Joke Festival. So much so that he called him a bigot and a piece of shit. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. I'm reading this from Bounding into Comics. Shout out to John F. Trent. Will Wheaton calls Dave Chappelle a bigot and piece of shit after the Netflix announced the comedian will headline Netflix's A Joke Festival. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Star Trek host Will Wheaton targeted Dave Chappelle in a recent social media post, calling the comedian a bigot after it was announced that Dave Chappelle will be headlining Netflix's A Joke Festival. Wheaton took to Facebook, where he shared a Rolling Stone article announcing that Chappelle will be headlining Netflix Comedy Festival. He then proceeded to comment on the announcement, writing, "Absolutely disgusting. Every single comedian who is on this bill should withdraw unless and until this despicable bigot is uninvited. Any comedian who is part of this should be ashamed of themselves. Netflix may not believe in holding this piece of shit to account, but you all have to live with yourselves and the choices you make to perform with them," he continued. He then included with the post, "And fuck everyone at Netflix who is a part of this. Trans rights are human rights, and words matter." Another woke motherfucker. This ain't nothing new. I mean, he also claims that Kyle Rittenhouse Judge Schroeder has a racist little white nationalist heart. Couldn't get over the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse was found innocent, but whatever. However, it didn't stop there. Wheaton added an edit to the post writing edit 12 hours later. An important follow-up, though. It's very easy for me to sit in my chair and issue edicts about what other people should do. That's presumptuous, and it overwhelms a larger point that I made in a comment here, which is also on its own post. I withdraw that outburst, and I regret saying it. Like, I don't know if anyone cares, but I guess I do, and I want to own it. Uh-huh. In a lengthy comment on the post, which he would turn into his own post, he attempted to explain his thoughts more thoroughly. He began, "For anyone who genuinely doesn't understand why I feel as strong as I do about people like Chappelle making transphobic comments that are passed off as jokes, I want to share a story that I hope will help you understand and contextualize my reaction to his behavior." Oh boy, here we go. We then started with the story. "When I was 16, I played ice hockey almost every night in a local rink. I was a goalie, and they always need goalies, so I show up, put on my gear, and just wait for the team to call me onto the ice. It was a lot of fun. One night, I played a couple of hours of pickup with some really great dudes. They were friendly. They were funny. They enjoyed the game. They treated me like I was part of their team. They welcomed me," he recounted. "After we finished, we were all in the locker room getting changed into our regular clothes." Jesus Christ. And he also implies that white people are domestic terrorist insurgents, and declares he does not want the United States unified. Of course he do. Of course he doesn't. We then paused his story to discuss comedy and his love for it. Before I tell you what happened next, I want to talk specifically about comedy, how much I love it when I was growing up. I listened to records and watch comedy specials whenever I could. One of the definitive comedy specials for me and my friends was Eddie Murphy's Delirious from 1983. It has bits that still kills me, he relayed. The Ice Cream song, the Aunt Bunny falling down the stairs, Mom throwing the shoe. Really funny stuff. Yeah. However, he then wrote, there are also extensive homophobic material that is just fucking appalling and inexcusable. Launch of this comedy film are devoted to mocking gay people, using a slur that starts with F over and over and over again. Young Will, who watched this with his suburban white upper middle class friends, in his privileged butter, thought it was funny, edgy, dirtiest thing that it ever heard. It killed him, he recalled. And all of it was dehumanizing to gay men. All of it was cruel. All of it was bigoted. All of it was punching down. And I don't know any better, he wrote. I accept the framing. I developed a view of gay men as predatory, somehow less than straight men, absolutely very mockery and contempt. Always good for a joke, though. Oh, for the love of fucking Pete. Let me put this another way. A comedian who I thought was one of the funniest people on the planet totally normalized making a mockery of gay people. And because I was a privileged white kid raised by privileged white parents, there was nobody around me to challenge that perception, he asserted. Yes, because admitting your white fucking privilege in your comment means so much. I just don't give a fuck about this guy. Wheaton then blamed the comedy special on his own behavior. For much of my teen years, I was embarrassingly homophobic, and it started with that comedy special. And also in this related article, he decided to attack PewDiePie, calling him a racist piece of shit bigot. Man, this guy loves car people who has a different who makes jokes of racist piece of shit bigot. Like that's my his favorite words or someone. The Star Trek host then returned to his original tale. Let's get back to the locker room. So I'm talking to these guys, and we're all just hanging and having a good time. We're doing the sports thing where you talk about the great plays and feel like you're part of something else. And then, without even realizing what I was doing, the awful word came out of my mouth. Blah, 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 faggot, I said. He recalled. The room fell silent, and that's when I realized every single guy in this room was gay. They were from a team called the Blades. Amazing. And I just really fucked up. Wheaton then details a conversation between him and these lockers. Do you have any gay friends? One of them asked me gently. Yes, I said defensively, and then I lied. They say say that all the time. I was so embarrassed and horrified. I realized I basically said the N-word in contest, and I didn't know what it is. I wanted to disappear. He said I wanted to apologize. I wanted to beg forgiveness. But I was a stupid 16-year-old with pride and ignorance and fear all that stuff. So I lied and tried to get out of it. We returned to conversation. There must not there They must not love themselves very much, he said, with quiet disappointment. Nobody said another word to me. I felt terrible. I summoned my gear in my bag and left as quick as I could. This happened over 30 years ago, and I think about it all the time. I'm mortified and embarrassed and so regretful that I said such a hurtful thing, he wrote. Then reiterated that he blames comedy for his own accent, Said it out of ignorance, but I still said it, and I said it because I believe these men who were so cool and kind, and just like all the other men I played with, I was also the youngest player on the ice, were somehow less than. I guess everyone, because that has been normalized for me by culture and comedy. A huge part of the normalization was through entertainment and that dehumanizing gay men over the service of jokes. Elaborate. And as someone who thought jokes were great, I accepted it. I mean, nobody was making fun of me the way, and I was the main character, so. Wheaton then proceeded to apologize to the hockey players in the story. I doubt very much that any of these men would be reading this today. But if so, I'm sorry. I'm deeply, profoundly, totally regret it. I spent literally my entire life since this happened making amends and doing my best to be the strongest I could. He wants to do everything I can to prevent. I want to do everything I can to prevent another kid from believing the same bigotry I believe because I was arrogant and privileged. We then turned his attention to Netflix as well. So this stuff that Chappelle did, that all these cis white cishead white men are so keen to defend, I believe them when they say that it's not a big deal because it's not a big deal to cis white dudes. But for transgender persons, those jokes normalize hate, ignorant, bigoted behavior towards them. No, the fuck it doesn't. He elaborated, those jokes contributed to a world where transgender people are constantly under a threat of violence. It's not, because trans people have been safely, accepted, and dehumanized. No, it's not. And it's okay because they were dehumanized by a black man. Okay. And the indigenous argument that is actually racist to hold Chappelle accountable for this, get the fuck out of here, he added. Wheaton didn't radiate his love for comedy and humor. I love dark humor. I love smart, clever jokes that make us think, that challenge authority, make us more powerful and comfortable. I don't need a lecture for some dude in wraparound sunglasses and a get her done tank top about how I don't understand comedy and I need to stick to acting. He said, I don't need a First Amendment lecture for someone who doesn't understand the concept of consequences of exercise speech the government can't legally prohibit. Man, legally, every defense of Chappelle's jokes centers white cis hetero men and our experience at the expense of people who have to fight with every breath simply to exist in this world. Literally, every queer person I know, and I know a lot, is hurt by Dave Chappelle's axes. He went on, when literally every queer person I know said this is hurtful for me, I'm going to listen to them and support them, and not tell them they are wrong, as so many cis white men are to do. If you're inclined to disregard queer voices, especially as they relate to this specific topic, I encourage you to reflect on your choices and think about who you listen to and why. Oh, fuck off. Man, this guy... Man, this is the longest article I read from this idiot. Not the writer, this Wheaton, Will Wheaton. He then posted, too many of my fellow cis white men are reducing this to some abstract intellectual excuse, which once again centers our experience to at the expense of people who are genuinely threatened by the normalization of their less than or outside staff. 30 years ago, I centered myself and I was appallingly hurt as a result. I was 16 and didn't know better. I still regret it. Frankly, a whole lot of all of y'all who I've already blocked should feel the same shame about what you said today that I feel for something I did 3 decades ago when I was 16 and I didn't know any better. But you don't, and that's why people like me need to keep using our voices to speak up and speak out. Oh, for the love of fucking God. Despite Wheaton's claim that Chappelle's joke centers white cis-het men in the most recent comedy special for Netflix, Closer, Chappelle said, any of you who ever watched me know that I never had a problem with transgender people. If you listen to what I said clearly, my problem has always been with white people. I have been arguing with the whites my entire career. And just when I thought I had you guys on the ropes, you changed the rules. I'm a girl now, nigger. And you must treat me as such. Call me a girl, nigger. It's annoying as fuck, he added. I mean, he's not fucking wrong. In a clip shared on Instagram, Chappelle also stated, It's been said in the press that I have been invited to speak to the transgender employees of Netflix, and I refused. That is not true. If they had invited me, I would have accepted it, although I'm confused about what we should be speaking about. I said what I said, and boy, I heard what you said. My God, how could I not? You say you want a safe working environment at Netflix. Well, it seems like I'm the only one that can't go to the office anymore. I want everyone in this audience to know that even though the media frames it like it's me against versus the community, it's not what it is. Do not blame the LGBTQ community for any of this shit. This has nothing to do with them. It's about corporate interests and what I can say and what I cannot say. Facts. Spell went on to state, for the record, and I need you to know this, everyone I know for the community has been nothing but loving and supportive, so I don't know what all this nonsense about. To the transgender community, I am more than willing to give you an audience, but you will not summon me. I'm not bending to anyone's demands, and if you want to be me, I'd be more than willing to, but I have some conditions. First off, you cannot come if you have not watched my special from beginning to end. You must come to my place of my choosing at the time of my choosing, And thirdly, you must admit Hannah Gatsby is not funny. Chappelle will headline Netflix's A Joke Festival at the Hollywood Bowl with an evening of music and comedy featuring Dave Chappelle and some very special guests. Got a lot of. He will also be honored as part of the inaugural edition of the Hall alongside Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg, Jerry Seinfeld, Sarah Silverman, Wanda Sykes, and others. And here it is. He'll be with the Hall with stand out with it. Wow, that's a whoa. That is a rest in peace, Norm Macdonald. He's on the list too. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what the fuck Will Whittington is doing, but all he's doing is just making him doing a complete ass of himself. And and I know why he's doing it. He's doing it because he's trying to get back into Hollywood, and the best way to do it is to shame a black man because he made some fucking jokes. And ain't it funny? Don't you find it really fucking funny how it's always a white liberal who tried to shut down a black man? Can someone please explain that shit? Because I sure as hell fucking can't. It's kind of stupid if you think about it. But it is what it is. I mean, after all, this guy is always trying. Like I said, it's always something else, man. It's always something else. I don't know who this fucker. I mean, yeah, I know he's a host of Star Trek, but he's becoming more of an asshole, to be perfectly honest. And all this, again, because Dave Chappelle managed to make a joke, and some people got upset about it but yeah, they didn't read the whole thing. But it is what it. But it is what it is. You can't cure stupid. You never can. You just can't cure. You just can't fix stupid. That's all I can say. But anywho, that's just my 2 cents on the whole thing is. I would like to know what you think about this. As always, be sure to leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss a lot of updates, share with your friends, share with neighbors, share with others, and that's about it. I'll leave a link into this article below so you can take a look at it and whatnot. Until next time, this is Darkside2K7, aka Sonic Sky signing off. Catch y'all later. Peace. And fuck you, Will Wheaton. Motherfucker.